Can I tell you what I don't like about cartoons or
Yeah,
animation today?
please. I'd love to hear. Yeah.
Biggest problem, the biggest problem is I know they're trying to make kids better, but now they're trying to make parents better. And now my kids think I have all day to play. I don't have a job because Bluey's father doesn't have a job. So
Ah,
I remember when I was young, all you saw was the feet of an adult, and they'd be like, I'm going to work. And that's all you saw. Now, these parents are so interactive with the kids in the cartoons. I think it gives false belief to kids that their parents are like that.
you know what? That's a good point. Not all shows do that, but that is a really good point. Kids behave on what they see in the show.
100%.
I was in line the other day getting into a trade show, and I was just always chatting with parents of young kids. And this mother said to me, my kids watched this one show. It was something on YouTube with pirates, and she goes, my son's always mean at me when him and his dad watches the show. So I'm like, I don't let him watch it anymore. I said, yeah, because they really do emulate things on the show. So not, I mean, I don't want to say there are mostly really great kid stuff, but there's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff that's not as good. And
Now,
if you
don't get me
think,
wrong. I don't
yeah,
want you to take it as I think Bluey's bad. I think Bluey's great. I just think the only thing wrong with it, it gives false expectations to
yeah,
kids.
that's a good one. I've never heard that one. I love that one. I love that point of view. But
Yeah,
you're right.
because I'm getting it from a 7 and 4 year old. It's like when your kid goes, why can't you play all the time like Bluey's dad? Like, well, this is not, and I don't want to say it's not real and crush their dreams. So I'm just like, well, that's a different world they live in. I guess I don't.
I hear you. I hear you. No, that's a really good writing on that show too.
Oh, it's
We,
great
we
writing.
we try to pick shows that only have really good creators. So we look back at who puts those shows together. Really, when we select our shows, we have new shows, a lot of brand new ones, and we have some real classics. And we really have a
What,
nice mix for kids.
what makes a good kids program? Because eventually, and the reason why I say this, eventually I want to work on a kids book and then hopefully get to animation one day.
Right?
So this is very educational for me because I write comedy. People know about my family and kids. My kids are black, white, and Asian. I call them pandas.
I
So
love it. I love that.
I want to create this panda world for them. But what makes a good cartoon slash book, and just what doesn't connect with kids?
Well, it's a great lead in. I mean, kids want to see themselves in some way in these shows. There's something they can relate to. We have all sorts of shows, even if they're animal based. It's something that they can kind of relate to a character, not something so far out that they don't have that. And comedy is really key. I mean, everybody likes to laugh. Entertaining is the most important thing. You can't fool a young child, so it has to be entertaining first. Some sort of story that goes along, and they really like to relate to something in that, whether it's a character, could be a dog or a cat that they relate to. But it's usually something that good creators tell me there's always something in there that kids can actually relate to. Families. That's why Peppa Pig was a show.
Oh,
Louis,
huge.
we have a cute show called Pom Pom Little Bear that I can't believe it hasn't blown up yet in the U.S. We're the only ones that have it. Maybe that hasn't kind of hit but it's very much like that. It's a family, a father, a mother, a son, and he actually, instead of a sister, he has a little best friend. They're all three
Okay.
bears, and she's a raccoon named Rita. And anyway, it's that same kind of fun, things that they kind of run into in their family. Um,
And
so
what I think, and I don't want to say this is easy about the platform because there's nothing easy about launching a platform and having a cartoon go viral but what's great about it once it does, and I believe you may have even said this, I heard this, you don't need a lot of it because
no,
my kids watch the same episodes literally 100 times.
you are right. You are right. That is really the beauty of getting in. I think you were picking the right thing. First of all, you're funny. So I mean, if you can relate, and you have kids that you can relate to. So, but you're right. You don't need to produce all this new content like Apple does with Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
because they've got to come up with a new season every year. Kids love to watch the same things, and repetition is good for them to build confidence. And so that is, you're right. Kids entertainment in that respect is, you can run a series. We've got series that are, you know, 10, 20 years old that are still really good. And You don't need a new one for each one, like you and I would probably want to see on a drama or something.
Oh yeah. How far into one of these? Because I'm fascinated about this because my son will watch something and know pretty much the first 20 seconds if he wants to watch it or not.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like you don't even know if it's good yet. But like if he watches Bluey or Peppa Pig, the first time I remember he saw it, he was engaged at the beginning. What is it? What is it? And how do adults determine what a kid is going to like in the first 20 or 30 seconds to invest years in a cartoon?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. It is kind of an X factor that you can't really, you can put all the big money behind a show and not get that. I think creators in general, the people that create these shows, the really good ones, kind of have a way to relate to kids because kids are really smart. You can't fool them either. You can't just say, oh, we're going to teach you about this and that. Even in an educational show, we have a lot of shows that we would quote call educational, but every one of them is story, fun driven shows that gets kids into it. But you're right. What made one of these a bigger hit than another? I think kids like something a little bit unique and different. They like a little something that's maybe naughty in a way that they kind of get the joke, but nothing too, we don't have anything scary naughty or bad humor, but they might like a little bit of an inside joke on it that they seem to appreciate. One of the shows we have is called Lazy Town.
Yep.
And it's a fun show about healthy lifestyle. But if you called it, I know the creator really well. He always said if you called it Happy Town, they wouldn't watch it. So there's this kind of fun thing about Lazy Town, even though no one's lazy in Lazy Town. That's the theme. And so it's kind of a little bit of fun to kind of draw a kid in to the first episode. Sometimes you need to have. That's just one example of we have 60 or 70 shows that we have in different genres. We believe in diversity, not only in the characters, but we have all different styles. We have puppet shows from Jim Henson and we have, live action shows. We have, different characters on the shows from different countries. So we would like to give the kids a real diversity and let them kind of explore it on their own.